In 1882, a chemist in Indianapolis cooked rhubarb in a tarnished pot. And when the pot came out clean, he didn't move on. He stopped, identified the mechanism, and spent the next several years building a product around that single observation. That product became Barkeeper's Friend, sold for over a century, and it still sells today for roughly $2 a can. This video is about Barkeeper's Friend, a powdered cleaner that removes yellow and brown bathtub stains permanently, costs less than a cup of coffee, and has been sitting on hardware store shelves since the 1880s. Rust stains, hard water mineral deposits, the stains that bleach makes worse. This powder handles all of them. And Consumer Reports confirmed as much back in 1994, showing it outperformed Mr. Clean on Rust Removal, where products like CLR, Comet, and Soft Scrub consistently fail. Here's the contradiction sitting at the center of all of this. 85% of American homes have hard water, according to the US Geological Survey, and hard water stains bathtubs. Homeowners panic, call contractors, replace tubs that don't need replacing, and spend thousands of dollars on a problem a $2 powder solves in 20 minutes. The bathtub refinishing industry charges $300, $500 for services that oxalic acid-based cleansers accomplish in 200 minutes. The information has been available since 1882, and yet the default advice for a yellow bathtub remains the same: call a professional. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what Barkeeper's Friend is, how it works at a molecular level, and who has been manufacturing it for nearly 70 years in the same city where it was invented. You will also hear from the cleaning professional who restored a rust-covered radio flyer tricycle to factory condition in under 20 minutes, using nothing but a can of this powder and the back of a kitchen sponge. Start with the stain itself, because understanding what it actually is changes everything about how you approach it. The most common cause of a yellowed bathtub is hard water, which carries elevated concentrations of calcium and magnesium. When that water evaporates off a surface, the minerals stay behind, building up over time and turning yellow or light brown as they interact with soap residue. The surface looks dirty even when it isn't, and standard cleaning products leave those deposits completely untouched because they weren't formulated to break mineral bonds, only to lift surface grime. The second cause is iron in the water supply. When iron oxidizes, the result is rust, and rust stains present as yellow-orange streaks running from the faucet down toward the drain, giving the impression that the tub itself is decomposing. The tub is fine. What the water leaves behind is the problem. Material aging accounts for the third cause, with fiberglass bathtubs typically showing yellowing after 5 to 8 years, and acrylic tubs beginning to degrade around the 10-year mark. Faster if a nearby window exposes the surface to UV light. Ultraviolet rays break down the outer layer of acrylic, and the result looks almost identical to rust, even though no iron is involved. None of that matters though, if the response to the stain is the wrong one. And the most common response is exactly that. The instinct when you see yellow or rust-colored stains is to reach for bleach, and that instinct makes sense on the surface. Bleach is what makes things white, so bleach should fix this. One homeowner reported that her cleaning crew applied bleach to rust-yellow streaks in her tub, and the result was that it made the staining worse. That outcome is not unusual. Bleach doesn't dissolve mineral deposits or iron stains, and on iron-based staining specifically, it can accelerate the oxidation reaction and deepen the discoloration. The problem isn't a dirty surface. The problem is chemistry, and bleach is the wrong chemical. The chemistry of Barkeeper's Friend is worth understanding in full, because it explains both why the product works and why so many alternatives don't. The active ingredient is oxalic acid, a naturally occurring organic compound found in rhubarb, spinach, strawberries, nuts, and chocolate. One specific property makes it useful here. Oxalic acid attacks rust and mineral stains at the molecular level by breaking the bonds holding them to the surface. Iron oxide, which is rust, forms when iron atoms bond with oxygen. Oxalic acid reacts with iron oxide and converts it into iron oxalate, which dissolves in water, meaning the bond between the rust and your bathtub surface gets chemically dismantled rather than scrubbed off. The same mechanism applies to calcium and magnesium deposits from hard water, where the acid breaks the ionic bonds holding the mineral scale in place until the deposit simply releases. Bleach fails on these stains because it operates as an oxidizer, and rust is already the product of oxidation. Trying to oxidize rust further doesn't make it disappear. Oxalic acid works through a completely different pathway: reduction and chelation, which is exactly why it succeeds where the bleach instinct fails every time. The powder formulation pairs that acid with microabrasives, fine enough not to scratch porcelain, fiberglass, chrome, or stainless steel, but coarse enough to clear the surface once the deposits have been loosened. On stainless steel specifically, the product enables passivation, the process that makes stainless steel resistant to oxidation, by creating a protective oxide layer. Melissa Homer, Chief Cleaning Officer at MadePro, describes it this way: BKF powder has just the right blend of powdered oxalic acid and microabrasives to safely scour off even long-term mineral buildup without damaging fiberglasses, chrome, or stainless steel. The method she recommends is equally specific. Combine 1/4 cup of the powder with a small amount of water to form a thick slurry, spread it across the stained surface, and leave it there for 10 minutes before scrubbing. The sitting step is not optional. That's where the chemistry does its work. Her 5-word method: dampen, sprinkle, smear, sit, and scrub. No bleach, no mixing with ammonia-based cleaners, no application to gold, silver, pewter, marble, granite, anodized aluminum, lacquered metals, cast iron, wood, fabric, or painted surfaces. On porcelain, fiberglass, stainless steel, chrome, glass, corian, and most enameled surfaces, the product is both effective and safe. One precaution worth taking seriously: the powder can be inhaled, so dampen the surface before applying, or wet the powder immediately on contact to prevent it from becoming airborne. The formula in the can today is, according to the company itself, essentially unchanged from what George William Hoffman first produced in 1882, which means the chemistry was right the first time, and nobody has found a reason to improve on it in over 140 years. The history of how this product came to exist is stranger than the chemistry, and the chemistry is already fairly strange. George William Hoffman was born in 1849 and trained as a chemist, but he also worked as a steam fitter, metal worker, and plumber, which gave him direct physical contact with the surfaces his chemistry would eventually be applied to. Based in Indianapolis, he built a company that eventually operated offices in Indianapolis, San Francisco, New York City, New Orleans, and Chicago. The Rhubarb incident happened in 1882, and what followed wasn't a sudden product launch, but several years of careful refinement. Hoffman working the oxalic acid compound into a powder formulation and testing it against the surfaces where tarnish, rust, and mineral scale actually accumulated. Tavern owners became the first commercial market, using the powder to polish the brass bar rails that ran along the front of the bar counter, constantly exposed to hands and moisture and daily tarnishing. The results came back immediately and visibly. Brass that had gone dull came back clean, and the tavern owners started referring to the product by a name Hoffman hadn't given it. They called it Barkeeper's Friend, and that's the name that stuck. A trademark application followed, with the name confirmed in commercial use since at least January 1887, and the original product came packaged in brown paper bags. Ownership changed hands over the following decades, passing through the Walter W. Miller Company and then Gisler Polish, but the formula held steady through every transition. Then, in 1956, a man named Dr. Bert Servas purchased Barkeeper's Friend, and his background bears examination because it doesn't fit the profile of a consumer goods executive. Servas served as a naval officer in World War II, received a dangerous wartime assignment, and played a personal role in demanding Japanese surrender. Some part of his career touched the CIA. At one point, needing to learn Spanish to qualify for certain positions, he borrowed $35 from his grandfather and hitchhiked to Mexico City to study at the University of Mexico. His first encounter with Barkeeper's Friend came not through a business transaction, but through his grandmother, who used it in her kitchen, and later through his electroplating business, where the chemistry of metal surfaces wasn't abstract, it was operational. Servas went on to serve on Indianapolis's City-County Council for more than 40 years, from 1961 to 2002, including 27 years as council president. In the 1970s, he was credited with pulling the Saturday Evening Post back from collapse. Paul Servas became company president in 2007, and the Indianapolis manufacturing facility grew to a capacity of 24 million cans per year. On March 19, 2025, an investment firm called Forward Consumer Partners announced the acquisition of Servas Laboratories, the parent company of Barkeeper's Friend, with the Servas family retaining a significant minority stake. Azania Andrews, who previously led 1440 Foods before joining the consumer goods industry, came in as the new CEO. Net revenue had grown at a double-digit compound annual rate over the preceding decade. The company's motto, unchanged for as long as anyone can document it, once tried, always used. Their own website adds, our products remain essentially the same as the ones that polished bar rails over a century ago. Now place that product inside the actual scale of the problem it was built to solve. 85% of American homes have hard water, per the US. Geological survey, and the hardest water cities in the country include Las Vegas, averaging over 16 grains per gallon, Phoenix at 16 grains per gallon, and San Antonio, ranging from 15 to 20 grains per gallon. Indianapolis, where Barkeeper's Friend is manufactured, records between 12 and 20 grains per gallon, among the hardest municipal water in America, which means the people making the product have been living with the problem it solves for generations. Hard water scaling can reduce a showerhead's flow rate by up to 75% within just 18 months. Without a water softener, annual household costs for laundry detergent, soap, and lotions run over $1,000 higher per year. Home appliance lifespan drops by 30 to 50% under hard water conditions. The degradation is slow, continuous, and invisible until it isn't. Until the tub turns yellow, the showerhead trickles, and the dishwasher starts leaving film on everything. That yellowing bathtub is the visible symptom of a chemistry problem. And in 1994, Consumer Reports tested the solution directly. Barkeeper's Friend performed on par with Mr. Clean for removing baked-on soil and tea stains and outperformed it on rust. A 30-year-old finding from the benchmark consumer testing publication in the United States, confirming that a $2 powder beats the dominant mass-market cleaner on the specific stain category affecting 85% of American homes. And that finding has been largely sitting there ever since. Here is what the product looks like in actual use, with a specific person and a specific result. Melissa Homer, Chief Cleaning Officer at MaidPro, describes a job involving a classic radio flyer tricycle with rust-covered chrome handlebars and a dull, stained body. By conventional assessment, it belonged in a landfill. She opened a can of Barkeeper's Friend, wet the back of a kitchen sponge, and applied the powder directly to the corroded handlebars. The slurry sat. The oxalic acid converted the iron oxide into water-soluble iron oxalate and broke the bonds holding the rust to the chrome surface. The microabrasives cleared the loosened material as she scrubbed. She worked through the rest of the tricycle systematically. Every metal surface, every area of visible corrosion. Under 20 minutes after she started, the tricycle looked like it had just rolled off the factory floor. Not refinished, not repainted, not professionally restored. Cleaned with a $2 powder and the back of a kitchen sponge. The same chemistry, applied the same way, handles a bathtub. People have been discovering this independently for years, which tells you something about the gap between available information and common knowledge. On Thrifty Fun, a community home advice forum, a homeowner described a 40-plus-year-old porcelain tub with a drab yellowish stain covering most of the interior. The shine long gone. She didn't want to pay for resurfacing. The community pointed her toward Iron Out, another oxalic acid-based cleaner operating on the same chemical principle as Barkeeper's Friend. And one overnight soak produced results documented in before and after photographs she posted to the thread. No professional, no resurfacing, no replacement. A soak. Another user on the same thread described 50-plus-year-old porcelain with yellowish-brown stains caused by a brand-name tile cleaner that had run into the tub. Her solution was hydrogen peroxide, applied directly and wiped with a cloth. Her description of the result, it was immediately gone. Not reduced, not faded, gone. Both of these people found the right chemistry through a forum, not through the cleaning product aisle at a grocery store. And that distinction matters. The mass market cleaning aisle is stocked with products that don't address mineral bonds or iron oxide. The products that do address those things sell through hardware stores, a different retail channel that a different kind of shopper visits with a different set of intentions. A homeowner buying bleach at a grocery store is not walking past a display of Barkeeper's Friend. The information isn't hidden. The distribution just doesn't overlap with the problem. Barkeeper's Friend grew its revenue at a double-digit compound annual rate for a decade without significant mass market advertising, driven almost entirely by word of mouth among professionals and enthusiasts. The product doesn't require hype. Results generate their own referrals, but word of mouth is slow. and in the gap between Consumer Reports' 1994 validation and today, millions of Americans have paid for refinishing or replacement that wasn't necessary. A few application details are worth being specific about before picking up the can. Not all bathtub surfaces behave the same way. On porcelain and enameled cast iron, the older, heavier tubs, the surface is durable enough to handle the mild abrasive action without concern. On fiberglass and acrylic, which dominate post-1970s construction, the surface is more sensitive, and the slurry method matters more than it does on porcelain. Always mix the powder with water before applying, never use it dry, and don't exceed the recommended contact time. The chemistry that makes the product effective also makes it capable of dulling an acrylic finish if it's left to sit too long on a surface that wasn't designed for prolonged acid contact. Granite surrounds or countertops adjacent to the tub should be kept clear of the product entirely. Granite contractors have documented cases where oxalic acid dulled and damaged the finish, so the rule is simple. If it's granite, keep the powder away from it. The mixing warning carries the most serious consequence and deserves to be stated plainly. Barkeeper's Friend combined with bleach produces toxic chlorine gas. These products should never share a surface or a container, and any area cleaned with one should be rinsed completely before the other is introduced. Applied correctly as a wet slurry left for 10 minutes on an appropriate surface, then scrubbed and rinsed, the product leaves no residue requiring special disposal and produces no byproduct beyond the dissolved mineral or iron deposits rinsing away with the water. The company also recovers over 50% of the water used in its liquid-based products from rainfall, filtered and UV sterilized before it enters the manufacturing process. In the same Indianapolis facility that has been producing the powder since the Servas family took over in 1956. Return now to where this started. 1882. Indianapolis, a chemist notices a clean pot and builds a product around the observation. He sells it to bartenders. The bartenders name it. The formula holds for 140 years. In 2025, a private equity firm pays an undisclosed sum to acquire the company, betting that a decade of double-digit revenue growth will continue. And the new CEO arrives from the food industry, while the family that ran it for nearly 7 decades retains a stake. And in bathrooms across the 85% of American homes sitting on hard water bathtubs are yellowing right now. Some of those homeowners will call a refinisher. Some will replace the tub entirely. Some will keep buying mass market cleaners that were never formulated to handle mineral bonds or iron oxide, and the stains will remain. A smaller group, the ones who found the right forum post, the right professional recommendation, or the right 2-minute explanation of how oxalic acid actually works, will spend $2.20 and solve the problem for good. The information has been available since 1882. Consumer Reports confirmed it in 1994. The product has never been pulled from shelves, never been discontinued, never been reformulated into something that works differently. The hardware store shelf has held it the entire time. The motto printed on the can has stayed the same for as long as anyone has documented it. Once tried, always used. That's not a marketing claim. That's a description of what happens when a product does exactly what it says it does. If your bathtub has yellow or rust-colored staining that bleach has failed to touch, make a slurry of Barkeeper's Friend powder and water, spread it on the stained surface, leave it for 10 minutes, and scrub. Keep it off granite, marble, and lacquered surfaces. Don't mix it with bleach. Dampen the surface first. The chemistry handles the rest. The next video on this channel covers another product that has been solving a specific, expensive household problem for over a century, alongside the industry that profits from the fact that most people never find out it exists.